Welcome to Classes of Mail. Before you listen, you should know that Alan Gigax is not in any sense an official spokesman for the post office, the NALC, or anybody else. His opinions are inherently his own and should probably be disregarded. Same for his guests. Any information you hear on this podcast could be wrong and should not be relied upon for any reason. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Classes of Mail. My name is Alan Gigax, and we are in maybe the single best location I have ever recorded Classes of Mail, because we're at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, and we're in this like upstairs little plaza area, and it overlooks the pool. And so there are all these people down at the pool, and it is really nice. It is great for morale. And I have people with me from the Concerned Letter Carriers. We just finished with the rap session for our Region 1 rap session meeting. And now we have here first Bill Kriebel.
Hey, how you guys doing, everybody?
All right. Perfect. Dude, that came out exactly right. Yeah, there's this background noise. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. It is for you. And we also have Howard Komine.
Aloha.
Perfect, dude. You guys, all right. So far, that's great. These guys are sharing a microphone. So the first thing I want to talk about is, Bill, you had mentioned that at your rap session in your regions, it's not like this. So talk a little bit briefly about what some of the differences are and how that might impact you as a business agent.
Absolutely. So the first thing I noticed when I got down there for the whole session is there's a packet that comes with it, a binder.
Yeah.
And that binder has every class in it known to man that's here.
Right.
To me, that was impressive because we'd never have ever gotten anything remotely like that. And I know I've spoken before, like I always feel like there should be a zip drive that comes with these things so you can train people. But man, hats off to Region 1 on how they conducted this whole rap session. The training's different. The political fund people are different because they actually have stuff to give you when you donate.
The swag is good,
The
too.
swag is good, man. If you can get that coffee mug, man, that thing will keep your stuff warm until 11 o'clock.
For sure. Yep.
But just the implementation of how they conducted it. So, you're coming to a training. You don't have to try to go figure out where the PowerPoint is, how to get it, because that seems to be a challenge in my region. So I definitely, personally, I'm going to implement some of this once I win business agent and bring it back into my region.
Nice.
I figured that'll be about March will be my rap
Yeah,
session.
there you go. It's kind of amazing that best practices aren't already established. You know, that we have, like the executive council gets together, the business agents are together. It's wild how they're not talking about this and saying, oh, I do this in my region and it's really effective. All right, we also got Howard Komine here. And you've been to a bunch of these, I assume, over the years. Do we also do rap sessions in Hawaii sometimes?
Yes, we do. But I think, we have a lot of great people in Region 1. And, I believe like someone like John Beaumont, who was the state president, he really implemented a lot of the things that we do here in Region 1.
Okay.
And that just kind of comes over when we have a retirement dinner and we're working on the Letter Carrier Political Fund. We do it, we hustle. And that's why we're number 1.
Yeah, so, there you go,
know,
Region 1. And plus, we got a nice, shiny new business agent, Alan Rios. And Howard, why don't you talk a little bit? So first, let's make the announcement in case people didn't already see it on social media. Who is running in the CLC slate for business agent in Region 1?
Well,
okay, yeah, that might be overstating things.
Right, yeah. I mean, Alan Rios has been a great RAA. And he's also the senior RAA. And
Right.
they've done a lot for the last year not having a business agent.
Yes.
And I think Alan Rios, showed his moxie by taking the reins. And, like I said, I think Region 1 has a win-win team. With Alan Rios. And, of course, you got Jeff Frazee, you got Jay, you got Colleen. And they all work together. They all work well. And, I guess next man up was Alan.
Yeah.
And
he seemed like the obvious choice.
yes, because he was the most senior. And, we're proud of him. But we're proud of all of them. So having any other one wouldn't be
Sure.
a
there
miss,
were good people in the office.
So they're all good, all been working hard. Region 1's a tough region. Hawaii, Nevada, California, Guam. It's a big region. We got over 40-something thousand carriers in this region.
Right.
So with the grievance and the way management is dealing with us, I mean, having those people to support us is a plus.
That it is. Yeah, that is definitely huge. And so I shouldn't speak out of turn. I obviously don't speak for the CLC, but I will say that I saw Alan Rios wearing a CLC shirt last night. So that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, he embraced the CLC. I mean, why wouldn't you? We all want
agree.
what's best for every carrier across the country. The concerned letter carriers being led by James Henry, Corey Walton, and Commissioner Lewis. You know, we all want to do what's best for the carrier. We're not here for any purpose other than bringing back this union where we once was.
Okay, so I'm going to call an audible here because my original plan was to talk about the rap session itself and what went down here, but honestly, Michael and I can talk about that. So while you guys are here, I went to the CLC fundraiser last night. Michael and I did, and of course, James Henry takes his turn at the microphone, and I got to tell you guys, there is this consistent messaging from James Henry where he talks about this being a team effort, that he's here to represent everybody, that he's not above the people he's representing. He's equal with us. And I hear him say that again and again and again, and that he listens to people and that he wants, you know, this team atmosphere. But that's on stage. You guys see him off stage. Does that carry through?
Oh, yes, I do. Well, let me go first, Bill, because I know once you take the mic, it's over.
Right.
So anyway, you know, we had meetings, and James is all about team.
Right on.
You know, there's no I in team, and we're going to all come across the finish line together. And I think that message and his example of what we all do is, it just radiates to all of us that we all want to help each other. We all want to make money so we can send mailings out and sell shirts and raffle tickets and do what we need to do so we can get this union back where it once was. And again, you know, you don't win without being a team.
Right.
Yeah. So one guy goes in and everybody's the old school guys. How are we going to move forward? We need to move forward together. So anyway, Bill, once you add.
let me add a little more to the question then so that Bill can take over, which is when James was speaking, he told this heartfelt story about, I think it was Charlie Miller saving his job early on.
Right.
And he got a little teary-eyed telling that story. And so for me, you know, I talked about this before when James and Corey came to my branch. You kind of get a chance. Oh, and Howard was there too. That's right. Howard was there too. You get this chance to kind of take their measure in person, and you really get a feel for what they're all about. And you can get a more of a sense of sincerity being there in person. So in your experience, Bill, how long have you been involved with the CLC or been around James? Like, I know you're one of the newer candidates, but how long have you been involved with the movement?
Actually, I'm one of the older candidates. I came in
I'm
September
sorry.
2024.
Okay, well, perfect. As one of the older candidates who's been around the movement for a long time, what is your behind closed door experience with James? Is he the person he presents himself to be?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know you're going to say yes, but
well,
but,
I wouldn't tell it anything different if it wasn't. I mean, I would tell you the truth if it was somebody that I couldn't associate with, and I wouldn't be a part of it if that was the place. But his heart, his passion for the letter carriers, the team he put together. I mean, look at all of us. I mean, there's not a weak link on the team. His heart is for the letter carriers. He does get emotional. I remember when we were in Cleveland at the we had an event there, and the whole place just started going after he gives his speech. And he could drive his speech home. Everybody in that place started chanting CLC, and you could see the emotion hit him.
Right.
Because, like, look, James, like he always says, I'm out of Compton. You know, I came in this. I came through Charlie Miller and all. He's solid, man, and he's helped me through years. Like, I've known James now for, I knew him before 24, but I like I've spoken because we're both Marines, so we've always had that Marine Corps conversation. But I mean, James took me through. He trained me in Formula A and beyond. Got to know him there. That's how I became onto the CLC slate.
Right,
so.
Dude. It's awesome. And that's another thing, you know, seeing the contrast between him and Renfroe in person, because Renfroe spoke at the rap session. And I will give Renfroe credit for being a very clear speaker. You can totally understand what he's saying. but he's not dynamic at all. I mean, even though I was taking active notes and really listening to what he's saying because I want to report it to the listeners, like, it's easy to fall asleep while he's talking. There's just no content to it. There's no passion. There's no interest. And it was so different listening to James Henry, who brought that passion. And that's one of the things that draws people to the CLC. So, Howard, we'll let you guys switch off here. How does that translate to what carriers can expect once you guys are elected? It's easy to...
You ever saw the movie Braveheart?
Yeah, I know. Corey references it plenty, yeah.
When he rode the horse and said, we're going to fight. And, I think James is that kind of guy. And I know James over 30-plus years.
Right.
I know him when he was nobody in 1100. I'm a former 1100 member.
Yep.
And when they had the national convention in L.A. or in Anaheim, we hooked up, we talked. But, I knew of him. I knew Chris Jackson, all these guys.
Manny.
James, Manny, Dale Hart, you name it, right? So, but James, he's authentic.
Right.
And, authentic and a great Christian guy. The guy don't drink. He don't swear.
He wears his faith on his sleeve. Yeah.
And, I'm a drinker. I swear. But,
Sure.
just to deal with him, it's a pleasure, man. The guy, sometimes, he can make us go crazy, too, when he goes on and talks. And we get you can take only so much of that.
Okay, sure.
And then you listen to this guy. No offense, Brian Renfroe. And it's like the bouncing ball that doesn't bounce. It's just one line.
That's a good call.
And
it's very monotone.
I had to stand up. I had to go get a glass of water because I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
And he may have been talking about good contact. He's not someone. He needs to go to that school to learn how to speak and emphasize and make people get drawn in.
Right.
Because it's just...
So one of the things that I have asked a number of people about, it's been amazing for me as the host of Classes of Mail to have people coming up to me and saying, I listen to your podcast and I enjoy it, and that's really cool. And so I get a chance to ask people, well, you run in completely different circles from me. This is what I would ask to them. And so we know that there's Henry supporters. We know that there's Cariff supporters. What about Renfroe supporters? How much of that are you seeing? And the answer is universal. There aren't any. Or as Bill Kriebel said, let me get you back on here for a sec. You had said that you know of some because they're either institutional people or they're retirees who just remember the name.
Yeah, so we did speak about that, and the retirees that are back in my region, I'll speak for my region.
Yeah.
They believe in him, and there's some presidents out there that still believe in that message, as well as the business agent that is in place right now.
Right.
Because they're for the contract that just went through. So that right there is the first red flag that goes up. The people running around with the Fight Like Hell t-shirts on too. In my mind, that's a campaign slogan. It didn't come out until after this contract failed us, and you kind of made that fail us, so.
Right. I feel like John Murphy shamed him into wearing the Fight Like Hell, adopting that meme, because, he's a labor activist. But this information dynamic with the podcast, it's changed so much because on your podcast now, Bill, you can get out the information directly to the carriers, and there's always been this filter that before the social media, with the contract, the only information people would get about it would come out of the postal record, or it would be filtered down from the business agent. So now we can get that directly. So let's talk for a sec about the upcoming convention, because in previous conventions, the status quo people that you were just referring to, they ran the show. And whatever the executive board recommended, it was going to pass. And that's all there is to it. So are you seeing changes in people's perception of the status quo, of people at the national level, of Renfroe and his lackeys, where we may actually encounter resistance at the next convention instead of just a rubber stamp for everything National wants to do? Either of you can take that.
I'll start out and I'll go to the big kahuna. In my eyes, how I see it is there's a lot of people out there that are flying under the radar right now because of the retaliation, the gatekeeping, the blackballing that could happen to them. So there's a lot of people not stepping forth. I do think that when that time comes, when we do get the national, I think that you're going to see a different side than what you saw in Boston, because that contract came out. That's a heavy burden to wear, because he killed us with
He
that
wears
thing.
it like an anchor.
And then he's sitting here, too, to go back to this rap session where he's talking about OWCP not getting paid out to the carriers.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do there? You know, Alan, because you get hurt on this job. It's a wear and tear on this job.
is.
Whether it's a CA1 being filed or a CA2, it's the same thing.
Right.
So to hear that devastates me, because you should be fighting and saying, first off, you can't do that because it's labor.
Right.
So I don't know how they're doing that.
Yeah, and he's already laying the foundation of don't expect much out of this next contract because the postal system is broke. Like, out of the other side of his mouth, he was saying that, oh, we're in a great position when we go into arbitration. Well, we know that's what we heard last time. And we got this terrible result. And so people are frustrated, and that, I think that will give people cover going into the next convention where they're going to be a lot more willing to speak up. I mean, Howard, you've been at this game for a long time. Are you seeing a change in, like the middle level union officials?
Well, I think I do. But at the same time, like what Bill brought up, they're worrying about saving their jobs, reprisal, and everything else. And I'm not going to say names, but, the people that I've talked to, I said, cream rises to the top. If you're good at what you do, you shouldn't have any problem with James using you, because that's the deal. It's what's best for the carrier. It's not what's best. Oh, you was a Brian supporter, so we're not going to pick you up as a staffer. Right. But you're good at what you do. We're going to keep rolling with you because you're good at what you do. I would be very disappointed if James didn't do that. Right? Because I believe he would. Remember in the movie Scarface when they took over, and then the guy who worked for the original boss, he said, "You're good. You're going to be with us," and he was kind of shaking because he thought he was going to be wiped out. I think that's how it's going to be. The best going to rise, and we're going to move forward. We just got. I'm not worried about the retirees. I think once we get this out there, most of the retirees are hearing all kind of stuff, and that's national officer retirees. That this, like they told me before. Oh, this kid is really smart. He's smart but stupid.
Renfroe?
He's a smart guy, but he doesn't. If you're that smart and you've never done it before, you find people who've done it to make you smarter, and you get wisdom from the older folks who've done the contract, who've done this, and so you can better everybody. Not about me. And, sometimes I think, pride is a bad thing.
Of course. Yeah, especially when you're trying to represent other people. It's supposed to be about the other people.
Another thing with the retirees, too, you got to take in consideration that now in this day and age with the CCAs that we have, that's where the other side of these votes are going to come from, because they're the ones that aren't getting anything. They got nothing through the last contract. What did they get? Like a little bump in pay. Which is like 27 cents. Like it's not even enough to buy a cup of coffee.
Dude, and Table 2 now outnumbers Table 1.
Exactly.
And so if they activate and actually vote, it's going to be a landslide.
Yeah. And again, Alan, you and I have spoken about the table. I'm a Table 2 carrier. Matter of fact, I think Rob and I are the only two Table 2 people on the ticket. So if you got rid of that Table 2 craft and made that, just took us all up to Table 1, you look at the pay charts. That's almost a $9,000 difference. Look, that would suffice everybody. You wouldn't even hear anybody talking about money at that point because you got a fair raise.
Yeah, I'm happy as a Table 2 carrier. I've been happy with my wage pretty much my entire career. So it's fortunate on my part. All right, so let's get back to the fundraiser last night, because I got to meet a lot of other CLC people who I hadn't been introduced to yet. And there was one person in particular who made a phenomenal impression on me. You guys have to help me remember her name. She was the one selling the raffle tickets.
Oh, Kathy Jones.
Yeah, Kathy Jones. Man, what a phenomenal first impression she makes. So what is she running for?
She's running for CIO.
AFL-CIO delegate.
Okay,
sorry,
delegate. She's out of, I want to say she's out of
Nine,
right? Yeah,
in Minneapolis. Yep.
She's a go-getter. She's one of the organizers. In the beginning, she helps get that
there
together.
You go. That explains why she was so comfortable harassing people about buying those lottery tickets. Yeah, that's good stuff. And the other people I saw, just in passing, like I finally saw Walt McGregory, and I didn't get to talk to him, but I'll tell you, the guy just gives gives off this super friendly vibe. He just looks like just really nice and approachable. Who else did I get to talk to who was on the slate? I don't know. Michael, anybody spring to your mind off the top of your head who we talked to last night? Well,
we talked to David Grotzkopf.
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. Grotzkopf.
The hammer.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's the best. You know, I love David Grotzkopf. And listeners, I know this is going to come off as like a shill for the CLC, but I haven't been quiet about being a supporter of the CLC. You know, whatever issues I have with small parts of it, the movement in general, and what I see when I actually interact with people like Bill and like Howard, there is a sincerity of really wanting to work for the carriers and really wanting to do that fight. And, you know, with that fight, like last night I'm hanging out with Michael, and I shy away from uncomfortable conversations. I don't like asking tough questions. And Michael starts asking David Grotzkopf these tough questions that make me extremely uncomfortable. And they just go at it and talk, and like everything's cool. And that's that mentality that while I don't personally have it, I'm a teacher more than anything else, you guys do. And I respect and appreciate that about you. And I like that you guys are the real deal. So let's see, what else do we need to cover from... I'm doing this without an outline. We're really just going... Is there anything out of... Oh, well, go ahead, Bill.
Well, you want to know what one of the cool things was last night before the event, I came down out of my elevator, and I walked out, and I was coming out into the lobby. I was probably going to find the big kahuna here.
Right.
And it was before our event, and I noticed... I saw Michael. I knew the face.
Michael
I recognized him.
Brazenly,
And I looked around the corner, and I was like, there's Alan. So I said...
Oh, down at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. So I'm like, let me go up and say hi to these guys, because I've never met you in person.
Right.
And it was just so great how, you know, like people from across different parts of the United States can just get together as one at that one moment. And it's a perfect solidarity. And Javier was with you. And Javier was in my Formal A and Beyond training. And he looked at me, he goes, do you know who I am? How am I forgetting you, dude? You were in the same room with me. We actually battled together in this thing.
So cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, it really is great to have this connection where, like, immediately with you, Bill, it's this mutual admiration of I love what you're doing, I love your podcast, you like what I'm doing with my podcast, and we have these shared values that we're expressing on our podcast, and it's really neat. It's magical.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Howard, you sat in for at least a big chunk of Renfroe's speech today. Is there anything worthwhile that you took out of it? You said it was basically the exact same speech that he gave in Puerto Rico, right?
Right, pretty close. I mean, you know, I tell you, I was disgusted, actually. You have an opportunity with all these new people out there to explain your vision, explain what you're going to do. And my people were walking out going, I want to sleep. And I brought them up here to educate them, to see what I see, and it was just horrible.
It feels like a tremendous missed opportunity.
And these are new stewards.
Yeah.
I brought three new stewards to this training and to listen to our national president speak, and it was not impressive to them.
No.
I mean, you know, they listen to me, so.
Yeah, you compare that with
difference.
like, you know, I mean, I've played James Henry's speech on when he was at my branch. I played that on the podcast. So thank you, Howard, for arranging me to get that. And, you know, the difference is stark. You know, obviously we need a president who is an administrator, who knows how to do the nuts and bolts of running the union. But there's so many people to do that. We also need a leader. And that's where I think Renfroe falls short. You know, when you guys had to have been inspired like I was when the longshoremen were on strike, and that national president is like, I will shut the whole fucking country down.
That was awesome.
That's a leader.
That's a leader.
Yeah. One of you guys get on mic. I mean, to talk about that, you know, that we need that change in our union where we believe in our union in a way that we just don't right now.
Well, you know.
Yep.
You know, we was talking about. I went to the mic and asked questions about the grievance process regarding route inspections. And he kind of mentioned that he was going to come up with a new grievance, like a J-Rap, MyRap. And I said, I got 10, 15 grievances on the backlog waiting to go to arbitration.
Right.
I don't want this to be forwarded into the new rap session on a new rap that these guys don't get paid for the harm that management has done to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. He talked about that. And that was something that Alan Rios kind of touched on as well, was like, we have all of these all of these grievances that are waiting, and the big fear is that we're just going to settle them just to get them closed out, right? And we talked about that in the training class with Stephanie Bayungo, who was phenomenal, and she was saying that we have grievances where the steward maybe is owed a small payment or the branch is owed a small payment, and because justice for the carrier is waiting on this national level issue to be, this interpretive issue to be settled, that we're saying, forget it. Don't worry about paying the branch. Let's just get the carrier their justice. And all of this dysfunction is from Brian Renfroe not doing what's necessary to force the post office's hand in settling these grievances. And he didn't address that for shit today.
No.
All right.
A lot to say, right?
Yeah, it is a lot to say. Guys, I think that about covers what I needed to cover with you guys. Thank you so much for your hospitality, for saying hi, for coming by our broadcasting suite with our lovely view of the pool. And it has been a real pleasure. Mention before we get out of here, A, what you're running for, and B, how carriers can support the concerned letter carriers.
Well, first of all, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Mike. I'm running for national trustee to make sure we take care of our monies that we're blowing up there. With David Groskoff and John Cruz, support the CLC, buy a CLC shirt, donate, so we can communicate and let everybody know. Let's take back the letter carrier union so we can move forward and be successful.
Right on. I want to add something to that before Bill steps up, which is when you do something small like buying a CLC shirt, it's not expensive, or naming yourself as an endorser from your branch, that's free. And it really does move the needle, because I guarantee you there's other people in your branch who are like, well, let me go on the site and see who else is actually supporting the CLC. And when they see your name on there, it's going to make an impact. Like, oh, shit, I didn't know that Michael was also, with me in this cause. So that stuff is free, and it can still help. And to your point, wearing that CLC shirt, you wear that to your branch meeting, it's going to get noticed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, hold on. Michael wants to chime in. Go ahead.
June 3rd, or not June 3rd, on 3rd, on Wednesday of the General Convention, they want everybody to wear the CLC shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be plenty of messaging about that. But yeah, that's a good call. All right, and Bill, what are you running for? How do people support you?
So I'm running for Region 12's National Business Agent.
Okay.
You can reach out to me many ways, because I do have a podcast, if I'm allowed to plug that real quick.
Absolutely.
613, and then you spell 613 out. It's not the numbers. We're always happy for new listenings. It's a different type of show. But you can reach me, WilliamKriebel26@gmail.com. If anybody, I answer all questions and stuff like that. And if you want to donate, like you were talking, there's an endorsement page on the CLC. There's a donation page on the CLC. And obviously that money is so we can do a mailing out to all the carriers and everything like that. We want to make sure that, hey, it costs money. There's 285,000 of us, and if a stamp on one thing, you do the math, man. So
yeah, exactly.
So we want to get our message out. That's the way we do it. So every time we're here, like Alan, I'm here on my own dime. Yeah. I came out here on my own dime so I could come to your rep session.
I'm here on my own dime too.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? Like people see pictures of me in Vegas. My branch does not pay for any of this.
Right.
I'm here because I have a passion for the letter carrier. That's why I'm here. So Bill Kriebel or William Kriebel might show up on the ballot as.
Spell
some
Kriebel.
People can't. Kriebel is Kriebel.
Excellent.
Thanks, Alan. Mike, I appreciate you guys.
And I'm going to give you another plug on that on your podcast, because Bill is doing these really interesting things on his podcast that I absolutely support. You were saying last night that you kind of modeled it after the Howard Stern show, where it starts with a monologue and then you do a game and you have a guest. And the game aspect of it, I absolutely love. So you just did an episode where the game was a family feud on what problems the general customers see with the Postal Service, and that was so fun. Who was the guest on that, or what was the episode number so people know where to find it?
Sure, it's an episode with the Millionaires Row.
Millionaires Row, that's
so it was
it,
the boys from Williamsport, and they came on. It was when I saw that I had 3 people on there, I was like, oh, I don't do games on everyone, but sometimes I want to pull it out. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity, because Keith, my co-host, doesn't know the games.
Right.
So I'm able to do that with it. So
Good.
it was nice. We pulled 20 people out in the streets, businesses and stuff like that. And
Right.
the question is what's wrong with the post office in your eyes? And then they started to answer them. So I'm not going to leave that in case people want to come out
no
and hear it.
spoilers. No spoilers. All right, awesome. Guys, thank you very much for coming on. And Michael, thank you for holding down the fort and acting as security. The more from Michael on other episodes. And that's all I got. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you all next time.